coronavirus cases are on the rise in 29 states and territories, but you know who still can't get his story straight about where he stands on testing. Take a look.
When you do testing to that extent, you're going to find more people, you're going to find more cases. So I said to my people, slow the testing down, please.
They're saying, was that tongue-in-cheek or what?
No, it's semi-tongue-in-cheek. I say it all the time. I know some people thought it was tongue-in-cheek. It's unfair. I don't kid. Let me just tell you, let me make it clear. We have got the greatest testing program anywhere in the world.
Well, so now I'm even more confused. But apparently, Joy, you never thought he was kidding in the first place.
No, I never did, really. But I thought that he gave his enablers some wiggle room to spin what he said. They said he was joking. Either way, he's a loser, because if he wasn't joking, then he has to admit that several hundred thousand, well, I don't know how many people, thousands of people have already died from the virus. So you can't make a joke in that kind of atmosphere. Even as a comedian, I would never do that. And if he was joking, then I mean, if he was joking, then it's just like, you know, what are you joking about? The whole thing doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is,
Right.
he's always wanted to slow down the testing, because the testing, when it's in big numbers and it's accurate, it makes him look bad. I believe that's called criminal negligence, when you say, I'm not going to do the testing. Just like he goes out without a mask and encourages other people to do that. You know, the curve keeps going up because of him. I just looked up another country.
Right.
Other countries, the curve is going down, not here, because of him.
Right. So if he actually did tell his team to slow down testing, Sonny, is there a legal case to be made against him for negligence? I mean, Sonny,
I don't think while he's in office, well, there's no legal precedent for something like that. Certainly while he's in office, but you know, Sanjay Gupta was on CNN yesterday, and he was explaining that there really is no correlation between an increase in testing and an increase in cases. But what Sanjay did mention is that it's just such a public health travesty if this is true. We know that the United States has not met its burden in terms of testing. We're supposed to be testing up to 5 million people a day, and we just have never done that. And for the president to admit, I don't think he was kidding, and he says he wasn't kidding, for the president to admit that he wanted the slowdown of testing so that to make himself look better. I mean, I just think it's such a tragedy when you've had 120,000 people dead on his watch. It's just despicable. And it's really despicable that he has Kayleigh McEnany, you know, justifying his use of the Kung flu, the term the Kung flu, which is racist. When you have Kayleigh McEnany just justifying what's coming out of this administration, I'm just deeply saddened at the state of our country.
Right. And he's right now heading to Arizona. He's on his way, Megan.
Yeah, he's going to Arizona.
On his way to Arizona. I mean,
yeah, I think
the
literally
cases
right now
seem to be on the rise. Yeah, literally right now. And he's going to check on a finished section of the border wall. Does that seem like a really smart optic to you?
Well, there's a few things I want to hit here. The first one is our former co-host and all of our good friend Abby Huntsman. Her and her family have COVID, and they had false negatives in the test that they were given. You can look at her social media. She's made videos, and she describes having COVID as like having a snake wrapped around your entire body, and you don't know which time it's going to tighten and constrain you and put you in pain. And she was sheltering in place in Utah, and she's been extremely responsible, and her family somehow ended up getting it. So this is obviously a virus and a disease that we need to continue to be vigilant about. The numbers are rising in Arizona. I actually spoke with Governor Ducey's team this morning because I wanted to get more information, and they are now mandating that you have to wear masks in Maricopa County, which is good. That's the county I grew up in, which is, I believe, one of the largest in Arizona. It's where Phoenix is. They're doing a reopening with social distancing and all. It's like phase one, like it is in other states. a lot of young people are now getting it, which is interesting, and I don't know if it's because of the protesting or because young people just aren't complying because they feel invincible or they feel like it's an old person's disease. And I think, as you've said so many times, Whoopi, it's dangerous to only think of this as a young person's disease. Abby is 33. You know, young people and people of all ages are getting this disease, and you don't know how your body is going to react. And even in Abby's household, she describes that each member of her family that has it is reacting in different ways.
Listen, this disease is crazy. There's so much we don't know. And I just want to put this out because so many people say, you know, it's my right not to wear a mask. Well, it's your right not to wear a mask if you're in your house. It is not your right to take yourself outside not knowing whether or not you're ill and not having a mask and protecting the people out there. So it is all of our rights to have a good, healthy life that we choose to have. We're all trying to figure out what to do. Stop making this, it's not political. Please wear a mask because you don't know how the disease is working. You don't know if you have it. You can have a test and you can have false positives. Nobody is absolutely sure. Please put on your mask for everybody's sake.